everybody, this is the Love Yourself Guru and welcome to the Love Yourself TV and welcome to today's episode. We're going to be discussing self-mastery, 4 tips on how to attain self-mastery, God willing. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to think of your life and then I want you to categorize your life, put your life into 8 categories, okay? So you've got career and business, finances and wealth, personal relationships, health and fitness, spiritual development, and fun and free time. Now, the reason I've asked you to categorize your life into 8 categories, because often my clients come to me and, for instance, they want to heal their life, they want to transform their life, they're having difficulties in life in general. But what the mind does when it throws your whole life in front of you, it's very overwhelming. You think, well, where do I begin? Because I'm having problems here and I'm having issues here and I want to improve here. But when you categorize them, you're able to look at your life objectively, from a really objective point of view, and look at the areas where you're fulfilled in and the areas that you're not fulfilled in, and improve and take control of each area, one at a time. The key is one at a time. And if you want to feel fulfilled in any area, like I mean really fulfilled, you must have self-mastery. Once you have self-mastery in an area, God willing, yes, you're going to feel really fulfilled in that area and it's going to grow and it's going to flourish. Now, the meaning of self-mastery is the ability to control one's desire or impulses, self-control and self-discipline. So for, like I said, for fulfillment in any one of these areas, self-mastery must be attained. Now, the good news is once you actually, for instance, focus on one category of your life, God willing, and then you achieve self-mastery in that, it will have a dominoes effect on all the other areas of your life. Inevitably, it will have a dominoes effect. But also what will happen is you'll just copy and paste exactly the tips that you used here, exactly what you did to attain self-mastery in that area. You'll just do it in the other areas because you've seen that it's succeeded. Okay, so let's begin. So the first tip is awareness. It's the awareness of these 8 categories. Like I said, the mind always tries to confuse you. But once you're objective and you're aware that there are these 8 categories in your life, it makes things so much simpler. You just take it step by step. Now, the second thing is I want you to choose one category where you know that if you worked on, you know, it would have a really, and you flourished in, and you attain self-mastery in that area, you know it will have a really big impact on the other areas of your life, and your life in general will just flourish. So for instance, there could be some categories that you're not fully fulfilled with, and you're not fulfilled with. It's like happy medium. And so if you actually worked on that first, it's not going to make a massive impact on the rest of your life. But there's some categories that you know, there's 1 or 2 that you know that if you really focused on that and you worked on attaining self-mastery in that area, yes, your whole life, God willing, would change for the better. It will have a massive impact on you. That's the one that I want you to work on first. And like a tip here is, it's probably the one you're most unsatisfied with, you're most unfulfilled with. Start with that one first, God willing, and really here it's awareness and really making the decision that I'm not just going to improve this. I'm not just going to improve this area. I'm not just going to feel fulfilled in this area. I'm going to feel super fulfilled, and I'm going to attain, I've made a decision, God willing, to attain self-mastery, because that's what it needs to actually flourish. So that's the first tip, is to awareness of these categories, and to choose one category that you know that if you attain self-mastery in it, God willing, it will just, your life will just flourish in ways, unimaginable ways. So that's second tip is, now that you've chosen the category that you want to work on, okay, I want to ask yourself, what one thing could I do in this category? What one habit could I integrate? What one thing could I do, yes, that would improve this category? There's one thing that I could do, that I would do every single day. It's a non-negotiable thing that I'm gonna do every single day. What one thing could I take on, yes, that would have a significant impact on this category, okay? And the self-mastery here is you're actually defining, you're deciding what one thing, yes, that will improve this area, and you're deciding you're gonna do it. You're actually going to do it. It's a non-negotiable. You are going to do this every single day because you know, and you're wise, and you know, God willing, that this one thing, if you did it every day consistently, God willing, that it's really going to improve this area. So let me give you some examples. Let's say, for instance, you want to improve your health and fitness. Okay, you really want to feel fulfilled in that, and you want to attain self-mastery in that area. You could say, well, for instance, you know what, if I exercise 5 times a week, yes, it's really going to improve this area. I know it will really, you know, it'll have a dominoes effect. I know if I just did that one thing, it's really going to improve this area. What you do is you don't start too big. Okay, you don't decide to do something too big. So you don't decide, for instance, to do an hour of exercise 5 times a week. And you don't start too small either. So you don't do 5 minutes either. 15 minutes, yes? Go happy medium. Get out of your comfort zone, yes? But not too big that you're going to break your promises. Because one key to self-mastery is that you stop breaking promises to yourself. Once you stop breaking promises to yourself, the world will stop breaking promises to you. It's all about you, your relationship, everything that's going on is your world. It's all about your relationship with yourself. So a fundamental key to self-mastery is that you stop breaking promises to yourself. So when you've decided to take on something, God willing, in order to really improve this category and let it flourish and attain self-mastery in it, it's important that what you define, you don't break your promise in it. That's why I said don't make it too big and don't make it too small. So that's the second one, is to find something, God willing, that you know that if you did consistently every day, not too big, not too small, it would really improve this area of your life, and stick to it. Now, the next point is, I want you to think of that area of your life, and there's probably something, a habit, something that you're doing that's toxifying that area. Here you need to let go of a habit. You need to let go of something that you're doing, okay? Because if you're not feeling fulfilled in a certain area in your life, there's 3 things going on. Number 1, there's no self-mastery there. Number 2, there's probably something that you need to do, which we've addressed in number 2, in tip number 2. And number 3, there's something that's toxifying it and you need to let go of it, okay? So here, it could be something like, for instance, it could be let go of, let's say, for instance, if you want to improve your relationship, it could be letting go of binge watching TV too much and spending more time with your loved ones. It could be, for instance, a certain food, for instance, that you know that you don't feel very well after it. It's just letting go of that. It could be, for instance, in your relationships, for instance, you're very controlling over your partner and it's toxifying the relationship. It could be letting go of that. It could be, for instance, that in the area of finances and wealth, you're constantly worried about it and you have negative thoughts and fear over it. It could be letting go of that, and just having a better relationship with wealth. Whatever whatever area you want to improve, God willing, yes, whatever area you want to attain self-mastery in, there's one thing that you know if you let go of, it's going to improve that area. You're going to flourish in that area, God willing. And again, once you decide to let go of that thing, no broken promises. I repeat, when you stop breaking promises to yourself, the world stops breaking promises to you, because you've set that example, God willing. Now, if you can't let go, sometimes step 2 is easier than step 3. So tip number 2, actually integrating a habit, is sometimes easier than letting go of a habit. And here it's because basically whatever is toxifying your life that has taken control over you, okay? And part of the Love Yourself movement and part of loving yourself is really freeing yourself of all these chains, all these false beliefs about yourself, all these limitations, everything and everybody that controls you. Only God Almighty controls all of us. And apart from God Almighty, all those chains have to be removed. So for instance, one thing that's really, if you want to improve your health and your fitness and you're a smoker, for instance, well, and you can't stop smoking, okay, then that cigarette is controlling you. And you really want to move out of the mode, get into self-mastery and not let anything control you, God willing. And so the question to ask yourself is having that in my life, yes, is that more important, or is self-mastery and fulfillment and flourishing in my life more important? And you weigh it out, and 100% of the time, your life and flourishing in that area and feeling good is much more important than what is controlling you, because it just creates these chains. And the more chains you remove, the more freedom you'll feel. And loving yourself is all about feeling free. It's about getting back to the observer of your life, and really having freedom. And if you can't let go of something that's harming you, that's not doing you justice in your life, that means it's controlling you, and there's a chain there. Even though you can't see it, it's chaining you. You need to let go of it. So that's tip number 3. And you know what? I actually let go of quite a few things. When I want to improve areas, I let go of quite a few things. And they were, quite a few, and they were so difficult to let go of. But I'll tell you when it actually worked. So if I would say, for instance, I'm going to try to let go of this thing, it didn't go past trying. I just kept on trying. But when I made a conscious decision, that was it. I'm gonna let go of it. I'm not gonna do it anymore. That's it. Stop. It's out of my life. It's a non-negotiable. If I've decided, for instance, that I'm not gonna eat sugar anymore. If I go to a party, okay, and there's a table full of cream cakes, it's a non-negotiable. I'm not gonna have it. It's not about trying. I've made a decision not to do it. So in everything in this area, when I've actually stopped a few things that I realized was toxifying an area in my life, it never worked when I said I was going to try. It always worked when I said, God willing, I've decided, that's it, it's out of my life. And it's always worked in tip number 2 when I said, that's it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. It's self-mastery. It's not you're in control, God willing, of your life. Nothing is controlling you anymore. Like I said, only God Almighty. But nobody and nothing controls you anymore. You're freeing yourself from those chains. And the last tip is consistency and perseverance. And if you look at all successful people, okay, all successful people, they have qualities, these qualities. They decide what they want to do, okay, which you've done in tip 2 and tip 3. You've decided what you want to do, okay, and in tip 1 because you chose a category. And then they are consistent in their decision, and they persevere, they keep on doing it. So here is for tip 2 and tip 3, okay, that you've chosen to let something in. You're going to integrate a new habit, God willing. Like I said, if you're not succeeding in an area, it's because you've not attained self-mastery, you're not doing something, and you've not let go of something. So you need to be consistent. Every single day, you're going to do what you said you're going to do. And every single day, you're going to let go of what you said you were going to let go of. You're going to be consistent, God willing, and perseverance for 90 days. And you'll see in 90 days, even though it's something small, like I said, walking every day for 15 minutes, for instance, cutting out, for instance, the chocolate bar or something, or cutting out gossiping, for instance, or cutting out controlling your partner, or cutting out binge watching, cutting out something that's toxifying your life, okay? After 90 days, yes, if that area of your life and it has not flourished, and if it's not spilt over to the other areas of your life, and people don't actually come to you and say to you, oh my God, you're shining, what is it that you've done? Okay, come back and tell me, because I promise you they will, and you will feel so much more confident, and your life, God willing, will just start to flourish and flourish, because you've attained self-mastery in one area. You made a promise to yourself that you are going to commit to doing something every day, and you're going to commit to letting go of it, and you did it. You did it for 90 days, and it's just going to be a snowball effect, and you're going to do it for every single area of your life. And God willing, in all areas, you're going to have this, God willing, you're going to attain self-mastery. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a really exciting one. It is life-changing, honestly. If you do the 4 things, God willing, it is life-changing. And I hope all areas, all categories of your life, you flourish in all of them. If you like this video, kindly click the like button and the subscribe button. I will see you in the next video. I love you loads. Have a brilliant, beautiful, amazing day.